The crows in passage 1 and the ravens in passage 2 shared which trait? So, dual passage question, more of a detailed dual question because we want to know specifically how we can compare the crows and ravens. Well, let's go to the choices. They modified their behavior in response to changes in their environment. Yeah. So in the first case, the birds, once they saw this spiny, let's see, where was it? The researchers placed a spiky tropical pandanus plant, and then when the crow arrived in that circumstance, it hopped onto the plant, grabbed a spiked edge, and so on and so forth, made a little tool and extracted the meat using the tool. So the crow, in the first case, didn't have access to that plant, so it had to fish it out on its own. But when you change the environment, you put that plant there, the crow makes a tool out of it. In the second case, same thing. When you have different things surrounding the birds, these ravens, as they're walking around, they're going to interact with all these things in different ways. So when you put in a new object in their environment, they're going to interact with it, right? So both of these examples, both these passages show animals, ravens and crows, that are very sensitive to their environment. So we like choice A. They formed a strong bond with the humans who were observing them. No. In this first case, there was no direct interaction between the crow and the researcher, so that's not going to work. They manufactured useful tools for finding and accessing food. That was true of the crows, but not of the ravens. In the second passage, they don't talk about them manufacturing tools. They mimicked the actions they saw performed around them. No. In the first case, at the very least, the crows don't watch each other do this. They kind of all figure it out for themselves to a certain extent. So this one is going to be choice A. Another dual passage question. This one somewhat specific, but also has its general aspects to it as well. But I think the key to see here is, as we've seen in previous SATs, the more general answer wins, right? They modified their behavior in response to changes in their environment. That's very general. I mean, like every animal is going to do that, it seems. Like, that's what it is to be an animal, to be alive. You're going to change your behavior in response to changes in your environment. So a very broad, very general answer could almost work to describe any kind of observation of an animal. Whereas these are very specific, and in order for them to be correct, they would have to be mentioned in both passages specifically. And as we saw, in all three of these cases, at least one of the passages doesn't mention this or doesn't show this. So again, we have to take as a general principle, the more general, broad choices are often going to be correct in SAT reading.